For those of us who missed today or need a recap of the lesson for today, this is dividing by a decimal. So what happens when we have a decimal in the divisor? It's just one more step to regular long division. So what you do is follow these 4 steps right here. So in order to make the divisor a whole number, so we don't want to divide by a decimal, we want to make it a whole number. So in order to make it a whole number, we multiply it by a power of 10. Basically what this means is that it's the same thing as moving the decimal to the right in the divisor. Okay, so when I say divisor, just a reminder, alright, this is the divisor. If we have a decimal in the divisor, okay, we're going to move it to the right until we get a whole number. So whatever we do in here, we've got to do to our dividend, which is what this part 2 is saying. So we're also going to have to move it to the right the same number of spaces. Then we can divide. One thing that they do differently than we do is we go ahead and bring that decimal straight up into the quotient so that we don't forget about it. So you can almost change these because we bring the quotient up first and then we divide. So remember, this right here is just like what I said. Remember, whatever you do to the divisor, you need to do to the dividend. Okay, so here is where we practice some of it. So we have 1 2/10 is the divisor, and it's not a whole number. We want to make it a whole number. So we're going to move it over 1 space and make it a whole number. So now we have 12. We're going to do the same exact thing here. We move it 1 space and then bring it directly up. So now we have 863, don't forget our decimals, divided by 12. Okay, same thing here. We've got 2 decimal places, so that means we're going to move it 1, 2 times to the right. All right, and we need to do the same thing here, but there's not a decimal or that we can see. So what we really can do is we need to add a decimal behind here, because we've had this conversation how a decimal is always behind a whole number whether we see it or not. So now we're going to move it 1, 2 places, extend my house, and bring it up. Okay, so we can fill the gaps in with zeros. And so now we can rewrite our problem. Okay, same thing here. It's a whole number, there is no decimal, so we're going to just be able to leave it exactly the way it is. We didn't have to move it in here, so we don't have to move it in here. All we have to do is move the decimal up. We don't need to move it to the right. Alright, so down here is where we would end up solving those problems. Okay, we would fill it in. We would move our decimals over, bring it up, fill in the gaps, and we would solve for it. Okay, same thing here. Move it over 1 place, move it over 1 place, bring it up. Okay, and once again, same thing here. We move it 1, 2 places, 1, 2 places, and bring it up. Okay, and then you just follow the regular long division rules. Okay, and that's what we did today. All right. So if you want to finish the rest of the packet, if you want to practice, there's practice back here, and then we're going to do this tomorrow. So don't worry about that. So there's how we divide by a decimal. We got to just move the decimals over.